Hey guys, welcome to WhiskyWise with me, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 27, where we're going to review the Balvenie 25 Triple Cask. So this is the final one from the Triple Cask range, which Balvenie have in travel retail. It is probably one of the most anticipated ones I want to do from Balvenie. As you can see, I've got a big smile on my face. I just turned 25, and this is a 25-year-old whiskey. So I'll show you guys quickly up on screen. Hopefully the autofocus does work, and if I'm not too wobbly. If it didn't work, I'm going to show you a little sweep of it just over there, and wipe the dust off the top of this one. We're going to get down into the review. So, if you haven't heard of the Triple Cask range, I'll quickly just cover it like I've done in the last two videos. I'll leave them over here and here towards the end of the video. So be sure to just click on those and it'll take you straight to the video reviews. Now if you do want to check also my blog, I will have the written post for this one on my blog, which is JasonWhiskyWise. So, the Balvenie 25 Triple Cask. The Triple Cask range is pretty much, it's a range that they don't finish the whiskies in the casks. They tend to mature them for the full maturation of, for example, in this case, 25 years in each of the casks that you used, which is Oloroso sherry butts, first fill bourbon, and the traditional whiskey casks. Mature it for 25 years, and then put them into a massive marrying tun, and then hold that there for 6 months. Let all those nice flavors really interact with one another, really get a really nice combination of flavors, and then they decide to bottle it. And we're going to get now into the review so you know the price of this whiskey. So, I got this sample of Master Malt. I think this is the only place that does samples of them, and it's from Drinks by the Dram. So, if you want to try a sample, like I did, just go onto Master Malt, search that up, and you should be able to find that. Now, let's get into my review style structure. So, the age of this whiskey is 25 years old. It is bottled at an ABV of 40% ABV. I'm actually going to try to see if I can put a bottle over there on the screen. The cask selection they do use are Oloroso sherry butts, first fill bourbon, barrels, and traditional whiskey casks. And the distillery is the Balvenie Distillery. Now, the company for that owns the whole Balvenie Distillery is William Grant & Sons, and they are located in Speyside, Scotland. So that's the Balvenie Distillery over there. Now the price of this whiskey, yes, wait for it, £385, and that's in London Heathrow when I last saw it. So it is quite an expensive bottle for a 25 if you compare it to other 25-year-olds in the market. But in terms of exclusivity, yes, this is solely travel retail exclusive for the big bottle. I haven't seen it on many other sites. I've never seen it in a shop in London. So it is mainly solely travel retail exclusive, except for the dram from Master and Malt. Now, in terms of colouring, yes, they do use caramel colouring. It does state it on the box. And I don't know if I can get a pano over here, but I do know the whole Triple Cask range does have caramel colour. So, let's get into the assessment of this whiskey in my glass. And I've got myself just over a little bit. I'm going to save, again, a little bit more for my friend who wants to try out this one as well. So, in terms of the colour, I actually said before, if it has caramel colour, I'm not going to go so much into depth. But in my notes, I did write that it had sort of like a deep amber. It did have a nice sort of little look to it. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. Sort of auto-focusing into me. They all look fairly similar, but that's because they wanted consistency in terms of when they add colouring. So, let's now finally get into the nose of this whiskey. So, into the nose. So, wow, this one, straight away on the nose, this is heavily stewed fruits, and I'm talking, you know, your raisins, your sultanas. I'm getting a little bit of also what reminds me of jackfruit, because I've had that, you know, you get tinned jackfruits from some sort of stores where it's like a tropical fruit. I'm getting a little bit of that over there, but really like sort of soaking in their own juices and really just sort of giving that little bit of sweetness that comes out, and wow, this is just so fruity. Ooh, this is a really fruity nose. I'm also getting a little bit of what reminds me of a tobacco leaf. A little sweet tobacco leaf. If you guys smoke cigarillos, the sweet sort of cigarillos give you a nice sweet sort of tobacco-y note on there. And also getting a very rich, creamy vanilla on this one again. This one thing I've noticed, 16 had a very nice vanilla note, and this one here is a very rich, creamy vanilla note. So I'm going to have another nosing, see what other notes I can pick up, because it's just got so many flavours on this one. This is one I can keep nosing for quite a while. But I'm getting a sort of like if you take an orange peel and you just light a flame just under it. a sort of toasted note, a toasted orange peel, quite a nice rich honey that's over there behind it as well. And a little bit of cinnamon there again. I think cinnamon's been like a constant I've noticed throughout the whole Triple Cask range. But I'm also getting hazelnuts, which is quite interesting. Not toasted hazelnut, this is just like fresh hazelnuts. Like you open a bag of hazelnuts and you're just getting that whiff of there. Really, really nice fruity character. Just a mixture of different things going on there. It's just quite a lot to take in. I wish I could literally sit with this one a bit longer, but as it's a under 10-minute review, we'll go with that. So anyway, let's now next move into the palate. It's so gorgeous on the nose. This is getting loads of points just on the nose. So into the palate. Wow, those flavours keep going on and on and on. But to begin with, the texture again, with all the Triple Cask, starts off quite light. I might actually do a comparison with all three of them. But it starts off very light, medium sort of body to it, then it develops very waxy on the palate. A little bit thicker, creamier texture. It definitely has a spiced oak to begin with. It's not so heavy in spice, but the oaky character offering a dryness, distinctively giving you the age. It's much more older as it dries the palate. A little bit of like a cinnamon swirl, like you're biting into a cinnamon swirl, that mixture of sweet icing and that spice just so well balanced again. I just genuinely feel that could be a great food pairing for this whiskey. And then the dry fruits come into play. The raisins, a little bit of biting into a fig, and then I'm getting a citrusy note just in the background over there, and it's actually like a mixture of grapefruit and orange peels sort of entwined with one another and then just coated and smothered all over in honey, giving a little sweetness, and just sort of sits over here in your jawline, which is just so gorgeous. It's like you want it to stay there for a long time. So nice. I'm gonna have a second sip and get in some more notes, because there's definitely so much. I just can't give it all in one sip. So into the second sip. Picking up all those flavors again is just so enjoyable. I'm getting a little bit of like a rich cocoa, like a nice dark chocolate, and a creamy vanilla custard right on the end. Oh gosh, so you want to close your eyes and just envision yourself having all these things in front of you on a plate and just literally just eating them, and just, oh, it's gorgeous, this one on the palate. This is winning serious points, nose and palate so far. So let's next move into the finish of the whiskey, and then we have to give our conclusion. Wow. The finish for this whiskey starts off with those nice warm, mouth-warming, fruitier characters. They linger around the palate so well, they sink into your taste buds. So enjoyable. Those dried raisins. Sweet tobacco leaf is back again. And also a little soft, little bit of spice, but it just fades so fast. It's literally like a second it's there, and then it fades, and then I'm getting this nice honey sweetness. Almost like you've got a honeycomb there, and you're just chewing on it, giving that sort of nice waxy coating as it fades. And it's so juicy, yet a little bit of oakiness there. It's like the same flavors off the palate are just literally sitting there on the finish, and different ones are just presenting themselves at different points. You just don't want this one to end. That's my general conclusion on the finish. You just don't want it to end. It's like the palate's extended and those flavors are just so there. So we're going to have to give a rating for this whiskey, and then my overall comment, which is kind of the sad bit, because this is just one that you want to close your eyes and just sit with for such a long time. In terms of rating, oh goodness, I want to give it a really high one. And I can't, it's better than the 16. I'm going to go in between. My rating on this one, on the Balvenie 25 Triple Cask, is going to be a 94 out of 100. Now the reason behind this, I have tasted the 30-year-old, I have tasted a 40-year-old. I feel kind of spoiled right now, but this one is truly just so rich, fruity. In comparison to the others, such little spice, just so much more richer fruits just playing themselves on the palate. Just so amazing with the coating of the palate, and it's just an overall just a fantastic whiskey. You get the oaky character, which can be seen with those whiskies that are older, but then it's so juicy and just wow, and honeyed all over the place. So In terms of actually the downside, the only reason I'm not giving it so high is because one, caramel color is added, and that's something I just feel it's a no-no. I just feel, you know, companies, you don't need it when a whiskey's 25 or 30 years old. At the same time, ABV could have been a bit higher just to get more of the character on the palate. But yeah, minus that, and the price point of view, bringing that, is it value for money? $385. I think their 25 single barrel is going for around about $400. So this puts it into perfect price position. The only difference is if you take it and put it against their competitors, like, you know, Glengoyne's and Glenfarclas. You put their 25s into context, they're effectively half or even a third of the price, so that could be hurting them, the price point. But put it up to alongside other Balvenies, it is right up there. It is so good. So definitely give this one a go. Go to Master Malt if you don't want to buy the full bottle from Travel Retail. Give this one a try. I think it's totally worth trying and just something I love. I'm going to sit with this one hopefully next time. I'm going to buy another dram. I'm actually going to probably buy the bottle because I'm flying in a few weeks. So I'll be seeing if I can pick up quite a few bottles when I do travel, but I think my autofocus is going all over the place. I'm going to leave the video at that. Be sure to check out the 12 and the 16, which I'll leave over here and here. Be sure to check out the subscribe button to keep up to date with all my latest videos. And I'm going to leave the video on that. And also check out my social medias, which should be links in the description. But this has been Jason from WhiskyWise. If you have enjoyed, by all means drop it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next video.